Hey everyone, so it's Saturday, October 3rd, and I'm gonna not do a fan drawing today. I'm just gonna do a drawing and talk a little bit. I basically was just informed by a friend on Twitter about the controversy surrounding Inktober, and someone had mentioned this to me before, and I thought it was last year something happened where Jake Parker, the guy who created Inktober, or started it, he copyrighted the term Inktober, and I guess sued some artists who were selling products with the term Inktober on it. And well, it is kind of a dick move to kind of create a public drawing challenge and then copyright it and then sue people. Technically, it's his intellectual property, and I can understand his point of view there. And that's what I thought the controversy was about. But someone contacted me on Twitter and said, "Oh, have you heard about this?" They said they were surprised I was doing Inktober this year, and heard about this thing with Alfonso Dunn, and it led me kind of down the rabbit hole. I went and watched Alfonso's video, and Alfonso made a book called Pen and Ink Drawing, and it's all about working with ink, and it looks like a super thorough book. It looks really good, actually. And he made it a few years ago. I'm not sure exactly the year it came out, but he saw Jake Parker's book and looked at all these images online, and he saw glaring similarities between his book and what Jake Parker's putting out. And I publicly accused Jake of plagiarizing. Alfonso made a 1 hour YouTube video kind of going through all the images he's seen of the book and comparing, and there's a lot of eerie similarities. And as someone who's I think they're kind of both drawing on the tradition of books about art, and there's a certain format and a certain language that books tend to use, and they're both kind of keying into that. So I'm not sure what to think, basically. Looking at the comparisons, they're startlingly similar, but I also look at Alfonso's book and the way he organized it, and I'm like, yeah, you're organized. This book seems so well worded and organized and laid out that I'm like, you're laying out things and wording things the way this book should be wording. Like, this is how you break this stuff down, this is how you explain this stuff, and this is how this is how you teach working with ink, if you were to break it down into the basics. And so I'm hard pressed to completely say that Jake is plagiarizing, just because I'm like, oh, if I was making a book, how would I do things differently? And I haven't thought too much on it, but I feel like I would make something that is very similar to what Alfonso made. So I can see it being an incredibly crazy coincidence, but then I can also look at it and say it being plagiarism too. So I think if you're putting out a book on a subject, you should be aware of the other books out there, and I find it hard to believe that Jake didn't know Alfonso's book didn't exist and hadn't taken a look at it at some point. I don't know Jake, but it seems out of character for him to plagiarize into the book from what I know of him. Yeah, so it's just a very complicated situation that just happened. It's definitely taken the wind out of my sails in regards to Inktober. So I will probably be, actually on this video, it's probably called something else than Inktober. I think I'm going to stop using the hashtags and just take it easy and call this thing something else. Maybe I'll probably call it Fantober, since I'm doing fan drawings. Or maybe I'll call it Ink Drawings in the month of October. Or maybe I'll just take off Inktober altogether and just continue doing it. I don't want to stop doing. I like this challenge of doing ink drawings every day for a month. I think it's a fun challenge to do. And I think the main thing I liked about it was the community and the fact that everyone, this is the month everyone does these drawings, and it's just fun to be a part of things, you know, like I personally, I like doing the drawings and posting them. It's just a fun thing to do, and I like playing around with ink, and it's just a good meditative practice to get into the habit of doing a drawing a day. I am bummed that this is, happening to both artists, like really bummed for what Alfonso Dunn's going through. And yeah, that, like, when you see something like that and you're like, oh man, this guy totally stole from me, like, it's hard to not see it when you see it, and it's hard to let go of that and move on. And I think they're in legal litigation right now over the whole thing, so we'll see how this turns out. I know the book's publishing, I think, has been postponed. For Jake, I feel, if he didn't do this on purpose, he's probably going through hell right now also. So yeah, I guess those are my thoughts. I'll put a link to the video and an article about the controversy, and you can do your own research if you want. Yeah, I'd like to know what everyone thinks of this whole thing. So give me a line, drop me a line. That's it. I'll get back to fan art in the next video. All right. Thanks for watching and listening, and have a good day. Bye.